Good day everyone. Today we are going to define what is media literacy. Media literacy is an expanded conceptualization of literacy that includes the ability to access and analyze media message as well as create, reflect, and take action using the power of information and communication to make difference in the world. Now, if we are talking about media, these are the medium that very popular in this generation. For example, radio, TV, cellular phones, and many more devices that are able to give us information. Now, what is literacy? Literacy is when you are able to analyze or the ability to understand and access what media try to send it to you. Overall, media literacy is the ability to use media as well as knowing how to understand what media telling all about. Now, these are example of media: TV, radio, laptop, phones, many more. Now, what is the important role of media literacy? Media literacy is an essential because it helps people understand the message that are being communicated to them. With so many sources, information today, media literacy can help people identify reliable source and filter through the noise to get at the truth. One of the important role of media literacy is we are able to understand and contribute to public discourse, like on how we are going to react or to deal different situation and adjustments that happens in our society. We as a media literate, we can understand what was happening in our society. For example, there are public advisory through the coming typhoon or other important announcements. We're able to understand the information easily because we are a media literate. We can immediately take action on what news or announcement tells all about. That is the one example of important role of media literacy. That's all. Thank you.
Media information literacy along the various aspects and dimensions. Media and information literacy consist of the knowledge, the attitude, and the sum of the skills needed to know when and what information is needed, where and how to obtain that information, how to evaluate it critically and organize it once it is found, and how to use it in an ethical way. What are the sum of the dimensions of media and information literacy? Media and information literacy is an umbrella concept that covers three often clearly distinguished dimensions: information literacy, media literacy, and ICT digital literacy. As UNESCO highlights, MIL bring together stakeholders including individuals, communities, and nations to contribute to the information society. Not only does MIL act as an umbrella, it also possesses a full range of competences that must be used effectively in order to critically evaluate the different phases of MIL. Advantage and disadvantage of media refers to a means of communication such as broadcasting, publishing, or anything or communication involving the use of the internet or other sources that uses different branches to facilitate global communication for individuals located across the world. Media is a means of communication system that carries any message to targeted audience. Advantages of media: education. Media educates the mass with the help of television or radio shows. The move discovers various facts about health affairs, environmental preservation, and many more topics of relevant. Updated. People receive the latest news in a short time. Distance does not make a barrier to distributing information to people from any place on earth. People give millions of updates, gather knowledge. Media helps to increase knowledge about various subjects. Mass production. Media acts as a great tool in promoting mass customer products, increasing sales of the asset. Disadvantage. disadvantages of media. Individualism. People spend an excessive amount of time on the internet, watching or viewing content. As a result, the relationship with friends or family and neighbors may be affected. Difficulty to access. Some media topics are unsuitable for children. Limiting access to such as content can be challenging for elders in specific scenarios. Fraudulence and cybercrime. The internet opens up avenues for imposters, criminals, and hackers, such as predators, with the possibility to commit criminal acts without any knowledge of the victims. Addiction. Some television programs and internet media can be very addictive to most children and adults, leading to a drop in productivity. This is your reporter, Insayud John Michael Anday.
Tips for integrating media literacy in the classroom. Although media literacy is now a part of the official curricula of every province and territory, it's all too often left out or given cursory treatment in classrooms. This is the result of a variety of factors such as limited access to equipment, teachers' lack of confidence with the material, and especially the perception of media education as a frill in an age of standardized testing and comprehensive curricula. Here are some advice for making media education as a meaningful and integrated part of your classroom practice. First, exploit teachable moments. When students have free time, take an opportunity to listen to what they're talking about. Most likely, it's related to the media they watch, play, and listen to. Second, give students a chance to create media, not just analyze it. Although there are more to media education than just creating media, this is a key part of it. There's no substitute for hands-on experience to help kids understand how things like editing and music can influence the way a movie or a TV show affects us emotionally. Third, start and end with the key concepts. Media education and the media world can feel overwhelming when you start to analyze it. Fourth, recognize that kids and adults enjoy media. It's important not to take a negative approach to media education. Teach kids that critiquing is not necessarily the same thing as criticizing, and that we can identify and talk about problematic issues in the media we love without losing our enjoyment of them. Fifth, teach about media, not just with media. It's not enough to use media in your classroom unless students are learning about media as well. Sixth, make media education about asking questions, not learning answers. Even though you may feel strongly about an issue or a media product, give your students room to come to their own conclusions. 7. Fight the perception that it doesn't matter. Students often try to avoid talking about the implications of media products by saying it's only a TV show or a video game or a music video or so on. 8. Assess and evaluate media literacy work. By doing formal assessment and evaluation of the media literacy work students do, you communicate to them that it is valuable and important. 9. Let students bring their own media to the table. To get students more engaged, look for opportunities for them to do media literacy. Work with their choice of media products. 10. Keep up to date with media trends and developments. You don't have to be a media expert to teach media literacy. But it helps to be current about what kids are watching, playing, reading, wearing, and listening to, not to mention what they're doing online.
Here is a sample of research abstract which entitled The Impact of Media and Information Literacy on Acquiring the Critical Thinking Skill by the Educational Faculty Students. The highlights of the study includes students had an acceptable degree of critical thinking skill to understand and criticize media contents by 81%. The critical thinking skills highlighted two types of media contents that the recipients has to deal with. The first is easy to distinguish if it declares hate speech or explicitly offending individuals and institutions. The second is difficult to identify if the media content includes linguistic or grammatical errors. This study reveals the impact of media and information literacy and on acquiring critical thinking skills by the students of the educational faculty. The study's sample comprised 134 students, and its tool was a questionnaire comprising 20 items, containing various media contents published on several networking sites like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The findings show that students had an acceptable degree of critical thinking skill to understand and criticize media contents by 81%. The study also stated that the most difficult media messages to interpret were those that include misleading content due to spelling errors or because of confusion between wit and abused by 80%. And the easiest to distinguish were those that include explicit words or expressions by 99.5%. Considering the results, the researcher recommended conducting more scientific research on media and information literacy and its educational applications.